He's going to go for me now, Froch, just knowing what he's like.
This is Jonathan Agoff here for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Frank Smith here in London. Frank, how are you?
Cold. How are you? I thought it was going to be. It's a bit sunny before, and now it's cold. But I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. We're just here doing a bit of media with Dalton Smith. Brilliant win on Saturday night against a world level fighter in Jose Zepeda. That's, I guess, the statement you guys were looking for.
100% spectacular win from him. What a performance! And as I've said a few times now, it felt like bringing back the old nights of great Sheffield boxing that we used to create with Kell Brook. The atmosphere in there felt amazing, and Dalton Smith, look, you can be a great personality, you can be a great boxer, but at the end of the day, people want to be entertained, and to be entertained, they want to see knockouts, they want to see finishes, they want to see spitefulness, and that's what Dalton Smith showed in there. He stepped up hugely in levels, especially, as well as I keep saying, after a long time out the ring as well. A lot of fighters wouldn't do that, but he knows the levels he's at, he knows where he can get to, and I think it was a great performance from him, and it just shows what the future holds. He's going to keep building and developing, and there's some big nights coming to Sheffield.
So today is Wednesday, I believe. Purse bids tomorrow, Thursday, for the Adam Azim fight. Any
checking that? I think the purse bids are next week. Let's check.
It was 28th, but I might be wrong.
3rd of April.
Okay,
next Wednesday.
So do you think that fight's going to happen? Do you think you can reach a deal before that or not?
I just don't think the fight's going to happen. I think in reality, I spoke to Ben Shalom 4 weeks ago, and about 3 weeks ago I said, what are you doing? He said, it's not the fight we're going to take next. I said, no problem, and I get that, by the way, like you represent Adam Azim. I said, no problem, pull him out the purse bid. And they didn't, and the only reason they didn't do it is because they thought Dalton Smith was going to lose against Zepeda, and they thought they wouldn't have to deal with this situation. Unfortunately, he had a spectacular night against Zepeda, a great finish, and now they're in a bit more of an awkward, embarrassing position because they've now got to either pull him out or step up and take a fight that they really don't want to take. Because in reality, they don't want to take it. Otherwise, they would have accepted it. They would have said 3 weeks ago, we'd take it. I hope it happens because it's a great domestic fight. It's a big domestic fight, but I don't think it happens.
So if the fight doesn't happen, then do you still plan to go take that European title? Say he vacates, do you plan on fighting for the European title? Because I don't know who the next guy in line is, but it would seem like maybe a bit of a step down to go from Zepeda to a European title if it isn't against Azim.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors that are going to play into it. Obviously, we see what happens with Adam Azim. We've got to see as well with the WBC rankings where he goes in at, because after fighting for the WBC silver title, he's going to go very high in the rankings there. He won't be far off from a potential world title challenge. But you're right, he doesn't want to. He's stepped up a lot in levels now, and he probably wants to stay there. There's a lot of talk about potential fights. Regis Prograis fight's a massive fight as well, amongst others. And we got a lot of the 140 fighters. There's a lot of potential there. Ryan Garcia fights Devin Haney as well. Devin Haney obviously works with us, Ryan Garcia, on the DAZN platform. There's huge fights to be made, and he wants to. I know from speaking to Dalton, he wants to move quickly. He's always, don't get me wrong, he's always wanted to win the EBU belt as well. He's won the British, won the Commonwealth, WBC silver, but it's dependent on opponent. It's dependent on what plays out. So let's see.
Do you really think is this a bit of sort of promotion and talk that he's a massive step down for Dalton at this stage, or do you genuinely believe if he fights Azim that is going down the levels?
No, I do believe it's going down the levels, and nothing against Adam Azim. He's just not on the level of Dalton Smith. The issue Adam Azim's got is that he's been speaking up, or his promoters have been speaking up, the likes of a Wembley Stadium fighter fighting Keyshawn Davis, and you can't do that and then sort of be scared away from fighting Dalton Smith, is the reality. But I do believe Dalton Smith's on another level, and he's fought opposition on another level. Adam Azim wouldn't do to Zepeda what Dalton Smith did on Saturday. That's just the reality of it. And there's nothing against them pulling him out of a purse bid if it's the right decision for his career, but do it in the right manner. You're making it more embarrassing for yourself now.
Just want to talk about next week. I think going under the radar a bit, but Richardson Hitchens is really making a name for himself. Maybe one of the top guys at 140. Yeah, just talk me through that fight.
Yeah, look, it's a tough fight against Lemos. It's a final eliminator for the IBF title. Obviously, Subriel Matias will fight in June. That will be announced later today. And the winner of Richardson Hitchens against Lemos will be the mandatory for that belt. A lot of people don't want to fight Subriel Matias, but Richardson Hitchens is up for any challenge. But he's got a tough test against Lemos, a real tough test. You know, he's going to come there to win. This is his massive opportunity. So let's see. But big show there. Diego Pacheco back out as well. Excited to see him back on the card. Sky Nicholson fights for a world title. Mark Castro on the card as well. Galauya fight back out. You know, so stacked card top to bottom, and excited for that one.
I know you've got a lot of 140 pounders. Is Kenneth Sims Jr. someone you want to add?
We'll discuss with the team. You know, see opportunities. I see he's been released recently, and see what's possible.
Is a lot of people asking on social media, is Montana Love still with Matchroom?
Not right now. Well, he doesn't look. If there's fights that make sense, then we'll look at it, but not right now.
Okay. Obviously, just want to move on to yesterday's report in the Daily Mail that Conor Benn, the UKAD and the British Board have won their appeal against the drugs case. What's your reaction to that? Are you surprised?
Look, it's a confidential matter that's subject to ongoing legal confidentiality between the parties. It's not something, we're not one of the parties of that discussion. Obviously, Conor Benn, NADP, UKAD, BBBofC. It's not something for us to discuss, unfortunately. I'd love to be able to answer all questions around it, but right now we can't. And as soon as I'm sure people can talk about it, they will.
I appreciate that. Just one more on it. Is the plan then to look at other options, maybe abroad, or you can't even look at that at the moment?
No, look, I think the focus for us has and always will be to get him back boxing in the UK. Obviously, he's been out of the ring for a long time, so we've wanted to keep him active. But we'll continue to try and we want him back in the UK. But in terms of the actual legal situation, the case itself, it's not something we can discuss.
Okay, just moving on. Anthony Joshua, it seems like Hrgovic Dubois is going to be on the 5v5. So where does that leave AJ? Because a lot of people thought he was going to fight Hrgovic.
Look, we've been very active. He's had 4 fights in 11 months. I think he'll be back fighting around August, September time, something like that. But I don't know about the 5v5. I'm not sure what's on that yet, so I don't know. We have to wait and see what happens on that show. There's massive heavyweight fights to be made though, and Anthony Joshua wants the biggest possible fights.
See, Turkey Al Sheikh said that he wants to do a Wembley show, a 5v5, I think, again. What would you make of that? And have you had any talks about that show happening?
Be great, wouldn't it? Look, His Excellency has delivered amazing shows in Saudi. I think it'll be up to 5 fights by June 1st, 5 shows, by June 1st from October last year. And he's a big fan of the sport and wants to keep building the sport. And boxing's a huge global sport. Will always be a huge global sport. And I think if they can deliver that, we haven't had big stadium fights in the UK for a while. So to deliver a massive stadium fight in the UK would be amazing.
Cut some rumours online yesterday that Dalton Smith and Anthony Yard could be happening. Any developments with that?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of the talk about Anthony Yard and Joshua Buatsi. I don't know about that one though.
Okay. I spoke to Lee Wood yesterday, and he said that the City Ground didn't happen against Warrington for a number of reasons. What's the latest with Lee? Because by the sounds of it, he said that if he is to sign a new contract, he wants the City Ground as part of that deal.
Yeah, he always wanted the City Ground, but unfortunately, we're led by the club, and as to whether they can make it happen. We wanted to do the City Ground event. We'll continue to want to do that. So we're working on options now and seeing what's possible. I spoke to Lee a couple of nights ago, and hopefully have an update soon on him. But we are, we want to make those big stadium fights happen, but unfortunately it just didn't work due to the schedule.
Just lastly, Frank, I saw Tony Bellew made some comments saying that him and Carl Froch could happen in an exhibition and that he'd stop him, things like that. I know they're good friends, but what do you make of that?
Tony Bellew stoppage. He's just too big for him. I love Carl Froch as well, but I think Tony Bellew, it's just not fair weight divisions, is it? But I'd love to see it.
Okay. Well,
maybe not officially. Maybe we just do it. Maybe they can just do it between the two of them. We could like a spar. But let's see. I don't know. I think they should stay out of the ring doing what they're doing personally. But let's see.
Tony Bellew by stoppage, says Frank Smith. Look forward to Froch's response on his channel. But Frank,
he's going to go for me now, Froch. Just knowing what he's like.
Frank, appreciate your time, and I'll see you soon.
Cheers, Ben.